The walls of Buckingham Palace have witnessed countless royal dramas, but none quite like this. Prince George, the young heir to the throne, reportedly stood face to face with Queen Consort Camilla in a moment that left the royal family reeling. His words were sharp and direct. "I'm warning you," he said, signaling a rare display of defiance from the future king. As tensions simmer beneath the surface of the monarchy, this encounter shines a spotlight on the intricate relationships within the House of Windsor, and the stakes have never been higher. Prince George occupies a unique and pivotal role within the royal family. At just 10 years old, he is already being groomed for the immense responsibilities that come with his future position as king. While George's childhood is carefully shielded from public scrutiny, his education in royal protocol and duties is quietly taking shape behind palace walls. This foundation not only prepares him for the crown but also influences his relationships with key family members, including his grandfather, King Charles III, and step-grandmother, Queen Consort Camilla. From an early age, George has been immersed in the traditions and expectations of royal life. His parents are keen to strike a balance between normalcy and preparation, ensuring that George understands his unique place in the monarchy. Though his childhood may appear typical in many respects, George is no stranger to formal events and royal duties. His public appearances alongside his siblings, polished and choreographed for the cameras, hint at the careful upbringing that emphasizes respect for tradition while fostering a sense of individuality. King Charles III has taken an active interest in guiding George through the complexities of royal duty. The two share moments of warmth, with Charles reportedly delighting in sharing his passions for history and environmentalism with his grandson. These shared interests have helped forge a bond rooted in legacy and continuity. However, as George grows older, his awareness of the challenges Charles has faced, both as a father and a monarch, adds a layer of complexity to their relationship. The relationship between George and Camilla, however, is markedly different. Camilla has carved out her role in the royal family, but her presence has always been a sensitive issue for George. The shadow of his late grandmother, Princess Diana, looms large. Diana's legacy remains a significant part of the family's narrative, and it is shaping George's understanding of royal history and the dynamics within the household. Camilla's integration into the family, while largely accepted by the public, has inevitably created moments of tension, especially as George grows more aware of past controversies. Observers note that George's interactions with Camilla are outwardly respectful but often carry a reserved formality. This distance reflects a deeper undercurrent of unease, one influenced by his growing awareness of the complexities surrounding his family's past. Though Camilla has sought to bridge this gap, her efforts are met with a mixture of appreciation and quiet skepticism from the young prince. George's position in the palace is unique, not just because of his title but also because of the shifting dynamics around him. As he matures, he is becoming increasingly conscious of his role as a unifying figure in a family often characterized by its divisions. His relationships with Charles and Camilla are shaped by personal affection but also by the weight of expectation that accompanies his future as king. Each interaction, whether warm or strained, contributes to his understanding of leadership, responsibility, and the balance between duty and personal conviction. The young prince's growing awareness of these dynamics sets the stage for moments of assertion as he begins to navigate the fine line between respecting tradition and forging his own identity within the royal family. The tension between George and Camilla is rooted in a web of historical and familial complexities that continue to shape their relationship. For George, the legacy of his late grandmother casts a long shadow over the dynamics within the royal family. As he grows older and gains a clearer understanding of his family's past, the narratives surrounding Diana's life and Camilla's role in the royal story have undoubtedly influenced his perspective. Camilla's integration into the royal family was far from seamless. She was initially vilified by the media and public for her role in Charles and Diana's tumultuous marriage. Her eventual acceptance was hard-won, but over the years, she has worked to establish herself as a steadying presence in the royal family, taking on causes related to domestic violence, literacy, and health. Her resilience and commitment to duty have earned her respect, but her position remains delicate, particularly in the context of Diana's enduring legacy. For George, Camilla's presence represents a complex juxtaposition of past and present. Diana, though she passed long before George was born, remains a significant figure in his life. Her humanitarian work and charisma continue to resonate both publicly and privately. Stories shared by Prince William and other family members have painted Diana as a loving mother and a figure of immense compassion. These accounts have shaped George's perception of her as a vital part of his family history. As George matures, he has begun to grasp the nuanced relationships within the family, including the tension that once existed between Diana and Camilla. While his parents have worked to foster an environment of unity and respect, it is inevitable that George, being a curious and thoughtful young prince, would question the dynamics that shaped his grandparents' relationship. This growing awareness has undoubtedly influenced his interactions with Camilla and created an undercurrent of unease. Despite this, Camilla has worked hard to build bridges within the family. Her role as queen consort demands both public visibility and familial diplomacy. She has reached out to George and his siblings to ensure they feel supported in their royal duties. However, these efforts are complicated by the lingering narrative surrounding Diana. For George, Camilla's position as queen consort may feel like an unspoken challenge to Diana's legacy. Moreover, the generational gap between George and Camilla adds another layer of complexity. George is growing up in an era of heightened transparency and media scrutiny. His understanding of leadership is shaped by his parents' emphasis on compassion and relatability, which may contrast with the more traditional approach embodied by Camilla. This divergence in values could contribute to the subtle friction between them. The confrontation between George and Camilla, while rooted in personal dynamics, is emblematic of broader shifts within the monarchy itself. It represents the ongoing struggle between tradition and modernity that has defined the institution in recent decades. The royal family is both a custodian of history and a symbol of continuity, but it must also adapt to the changing expectations of society. This dual role creates inherent tensions, which were brought to the surface in George's confrontation with Camilla. Camilla, for her part, has long been aware of the challenges she faces within the royal family. She understands the weight of Diana's legacy and has navigated it with grace and resilience. In her response to George, Camilla was measured but deeply introspective. She reassured him of her respect for Diana's legacy and emphasized that she sees her role not as a replacement but as a complement to the family's traditions and responsibilities. For George, the moment marked a significant step in his journey toward the throne. Though still young, the prince demonstrated a sense of conviction and authority that hinted at the leader he is destined to become. By standing up for what he believed in, George offered a rare glimpse into the emerging voice of a future king, unafraid to address difficult truths even within the confines of royal tradition. The confrontation also revealed a maturity beyond George's years. Despite his youth, he approached the situation with clarity and purpose, impressing those who witnessed it. His words, particularly the pointed "I'm warning you," carried the weight of someone who understands the gravity of his position. It was a declaration that signaled his growing awareness of the responsibilities that come with being a future king, as well as his willingness to engage with the complexities of his family's history. This moment represents a shift toward greater openness and authenticity within the royal family. George's directness suggests that the monarchy's future will not be defined by silent adherence to tradition but by a willingness to adapt and engage with evolving values. His actions highlight the importance of fostering dialogue and mutual respect as the royal family navigates the complexities of modern monarchy. As George continues to grow into his role, moments like this will define his leadership style. His approach will likely resonate with a public increasingly invested in transparency and authenticity. It may even strengthen the monarchy's connection to its people, revealing deeper issues of tradition and modernity that are central to the family's ongoing evolution.